From the Christian sister duo that made their name with outrageous and attention-grabbing content to Bethany Beal, who changed directions and took on lucrative solo projects. These are all the ways that greed destroyed the Christian influencer duo, Girl Defined. Things started off pretty tame on Kristen and Bethany Baird's end. The self-proclaimed stay-at-home daughters had just launched a Christian website with the intention of promoting religious values to young and impressionable teenage women. According to their website, the advice was specifically targeted at anyone under the age of 18. Religious social media influencers aren't anything new, and even if some people don't agree with what they have to say, they pretty much let them and their followers be. The Christian influencer community became a niche community that you wouldn't see or hear from until you actively started searching for their content. The two Baird sisters, who'd reportedly turned down full-year modeling contracts and sports scholarships to Division I colleges in order to find their true purpose, knew that they had to break through that fifth dimension. A lot of people thought that the sisters were intentionally posting borderline offensive titles, such as Why I Won't Be Entering the Gender Bender and Self-Esteem, Why Christian Girls Don't Need It, with the intention of getting a rise out of people and driving more traffic to their website. To be fair, it worked, but the sort of clickbaity and triggering content was what the duo became known for. They eventually decided to take their message to a bigger audience in 2016 and joined YouTube. Today, Girl Defined has over 160,000 followers. A lot of it's obviously thanks to their cringy videos, out-of-pocket claims, and the fact that other, more popular YouTubers such as Cody Ko made reaction videos to their absurd clips, and those videos ended up racking millions and millions of views. Everyone wanted to know more about the sisters, but it only opened a Pandora's box of horrible family secrets. The truth was that Bethany and Kristen weren't getting any more famous, but clips from their triggering YouTube videos were shared and reshared all over the internet. So Girl Defined realized that the only way they could stay relevant was to churn out the same sort of videos. To give you some idea here, they've now made dozens of videos talking about the struggles that come with singlehood. Still, there was some focus on the two sisters who claimed they were only doing God's work, and a deeper dive into their family uncovered some shocking secrets. Most of them, though, were revealed by an anonymous Reddit user who claimed to have been one of the duo's 11 siblings. This user claimed that he'd escaped from their overbearing and narcissistic mother, who'd forced the sisters to stay at home and not go to college, and basically found a way to turn her daughters into mini versions of herself. The anonymous user made another shocking revelation, and it had something to do with a picture Bethany posted from her honeymoon. For those of you who don't know, Bethany decided to go to Austria and visit the land of her great-great-grandfather, who'd apparently been a man that their mother Heidi had always held in high regard. If anything, one of the Baird siblings is even named after him. However, when Bethany posted a picture alongside his grave, a lot of people started doing some digging and found out that the man they'd been looking up to and praising for so long was a white supremacist. Yep, Bethany and Kristen's great-great-grandfather really was once a small-town mayor in Austria, like they claimed. But they forgot to mention the part where he'd been arrested several times for organizing protests against any sort of New Age movement. When everyone found out, of course, they started hounding Bethany in the comments section. Now, a rational response would be to either delete the post or tell your side of the whole incident, preferably where you're apologetic about it. Bethany did neither of those things. Instead, she began deleting every negative comment on her post and eventually restricting access. Some people speculated that maybe Bethany was blissfully unaware of her family history, but others thought that based on how Girl Defined profited off the negative press, she'd not only posted that picture to get a rise out of everyone, but also kept it up as a constant reminder. It also doesn't help that the girls have zero training. So far, the Baird sisters, who now go by their married names Kristen Clark and Bethany Beal, have released 5 books based on a genre they like to call biblical girlhood. The problem people have with their Girl Defined brand, however, is only partly with the content of the books, and more so with the fact that the two sisters aren't trained to give the sort of advice that they do. For reference, the girls released an entire book where they talked about the joys of finding a man and settling down as soon as possible. It's been said already, but Kristen and Bethany didn't even go to college, let alone a postgraduate school, to study behavior science. The fact that they're still churning out content, advocating for concepts such as women's purity, and the fact that girls need to stay as submissive as possible have really been starting to freak out a lot of people. What if little girls start following them? Kristen and Bethany have obviously taken things too far, and it has everything to do with greed. Not only do they continue to recycle their videos with the same content and produce merchandise that serves no purpose, but they're also giving out courses to other aspiring Christian influencers on how to be successful. They've successfully enrolled over 500 students into their 8-week course, where they apparently give these girls homework every day, which helps them become better people. If you thought that was crazy, let's not forget the fact that Girl Defined tried using the religious slogan that God is the creator of everything in this universe as a way to market the clothing brand that they had created. It seems like almost every other thing the two influencers do, they're trying to direct it toward younger women. Are they starting a cult? While they were getting a lot of raised eyebrows from the outside, it looked like the sisters had a few unresolved issues of their own too. So, at the beginning of 2018, Bethany announced that she had finally gotten a boyfriend. With her dad's permission, of course. Dave started appearing in her videos soon afterward and even proposed to her with what might just be the cringiest song ever. Around that time though, fans noticed that the two sisters hadn't been posting as much content and overall seemed very withdrawn from one another. Some believed that Kristen was spiraling into depression, considering how she'd been married for a long time but had been having infertility issues, while Bethany debuted her baby bump soon after getting married. It was either that or the fact that Bethany had started to act in a way which, ironically, could best be described as unchristian-like. Continuing with how she'd been profiting over just about everything, Bethany live streamed her wedding on the Girl Defined website for all her teen and preteen fans to see. Now, remember this. All of her fans were either scratching the surface of 18 or way younger. After Bethany got married, fans noticed a shift in Girl Defined's content. Originally, their content was focused wholly around purity, but Bethany was now talking about intimate details of her married life, with Dave sitting right there. In a few videos, she very candidly talks about all the problems she's been having with him, again, with him sitting right beside her. The channel was revamped overnight, and many believe that it was probably because they wanted to reach a more mature audience now. But what about their existing fans? They had to sit through 20-minute-long videos of Bethany and Kristen talking about intimate details. That's actually the kind of stuff Christian parents wouldn't want their young kids to see. Then came She Works Smart. People had grown tired of the Beard sisters' old, recycled videos, and after adopting 2 boys from Ukraine, it looked like Kristen was out of the picture too. Bethany, meanwhile, was believed to have been unhappy in her marriage, but instead of taking time off social media and dealing with everything in her life, she decided to start a new course that taught women how to create courses too. The sketchy part wasn't the $249 course itself, but that Bethany redirected anyone who contacted her on her main page toward the Girl Defined page to sign up. This raised several ethical concerns because everyone knew that the $249 would go directly to Bethany. But by having people sign up with a nonprofit, Girl Defined, she was committing tax fraud. After the $150 to $250 courses came the big guns, the $2,400 courses, which were marketed as on sale for $1,900, but there was a scam there too. So, the 2 options you get for Bethany's course for making passive income are either an upfront payment of $1,900 or a payment of $2,400 spread out over $400 increments. Talking about the actual course itself, Bethany continuously posts videos congratulating herself for making $40,000 on her first day of launching She Works Smart. A bit of basic math though, and you'd realize that despite having 160,000 followers, $40,000 comes to just over 21 people who actually joined her course. Still, this wasn't enough to stop her from posting over and over again, bragging about how much better her life is now because of her passive income and false advertising to struggling mothers. So from Bethany Beal shifting gears and working solo on cash grab projects to the Christian sister duo, starting off with clickbait and infuriating content, these were all the ways Girl defined the Christian influencer duo was destroyed by greed.